Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Jennifer Diamond, and I live a whole food, plant-exclusive, SOFAs-free, gluten-free lifestyle for health and well-being. And I'm getting ready to do some traveling. I wanted to bring you along and show you how I prepare my food for travel. So I don't always do everything the same, but this time I am going to be preparing food, and I am going to be going on an airplane, and I'm going to be traveling across the U.S., but still within our country. And so, you know, there are a lot of things that I was thinking about what I could bring on the plane. And I decided that one of the things is going to be to make one of Lissa's hand wrap salads. And I'm going to just be doing the wrap part. You don't have to do this. This isn't a requirement of travel, but it's something that I thought might be fun to do, and I thought that I would share with you how I do this. Now, had I not decided to do the wrap, I would just take a plain regular salad and some other things that I could share with you as we progress in this. So I also want to mention that I'm preheating my oven, and I am also going to be baking these potatoes. These are the potatoes that I have currently in the house that I want to use up. I'm going to bake them all, and I am planning to take them all with me. I don't plan to eat them all in, you know, the airplane, but at the hotel or whenever, I'll have some food that is satiating and filling to snack on. Another thing that I'm going to be working on is showing you how I bring rolled oats. And currently, I've really cut back on rolled oats because for me, I was kind of doing an experiment to see if rolled oats caused any inflammation. And I decided, you know what, just for kind of an emergency type backup, I'm going to bring a few packs of this, and I'll show you how I prepare that. But for now, let's work on the wrap that I'm going to create. Now, this wrap is Lissa's wrap in her hand salad wraps, and it's called the All-American Burger Wrap. Now, I'm not sure that I'm going to do all the insides that she does in her recipe, but I'm definitely doing the wraps. And so I have my Vitamix, and I'm just literally, it's so easy once you get everything together. I'm going to be putting everything in here and blending it up. Now, I have to say that she is really great about not only sharing about what kinds of foods and how much, but she actually measures everything out on a scale, which is really fantastic because, you know, different fruits and vegetables can weigh and be different sizes and different amounts. And so I have use the scale, and I did weigh everything. I'll show you the scale that I have that I use. And if you're not familiar with a scale for the kitchen, I can link this one, but it's just a very simple scale, and it's got pounds, ounces, and grams, and I really, really like this one. Okay, so what we're going to be putting in the Vitamix to start with are golden beets, and I just love golden beets. This is all raw food, weighed, measured, cleaned, washed. And so I've got that in there. And then I'm going to add yellow bell peppers. That goes in here. And then we have some beautiful oranges. It's great that we can use the orange. And, you know, sometimes it's nice to use orange juice, but I like that she has the orange so that the fiber and the water are in here. And this looks like a high beta carotene kind of thing here. And then next we're going to add some other things. I've got some sweet onion, we've got dates, I've got a piece right here of turmeric, and that's just an amazing thing, and then a bunch of garlic. And I'm just going to pour that all in there as well. Now, I just want to say, if you're interested in the recipe for this particular wrap, unfortunately, because it's not my creation, I can't give it out, but I can let you know that I can link going to Lissa's page, and it's where you can purchase it directly from her. And I have no affiliate other than I just really enjoy her wraps. And then the next thing that we're gonna do is we are gonna put in some, I gotta get my spatula. We're gonna put in some tahini. Now, if you're not familiar with tahini, tahini is wonderful. It's just sesame seeds ground up. So if you didn't have tahini, but you had sesame seeds, you could just grind the sesame seeds up. And it's kind of the consistency of like a peanut butter or a nut butter. And it's really, really yummy. I really love that. We're also gonna add a few cups of water right in there because the Vitamix needs liquid. And then I'm gonna add some spices as well. And so in here, I have some granulated onion, a little bit of cayenne, and some chili powder. Now, the recipe also calls for tomato powder, but I don't have any. So you know what I'm gonna try? I'm gonna use one of these. This is a sun-dried tomato. It's just dried out, and I'm gonna toss it in there and see how that goes. So I wanna make sure that I get all of those nuggets in there. Okay, and then I've got some apple cider vinegar. I'm just gonna add a little bit of that in here. Voila, it's pretty much ready to go. Now, we're gonna whip it up, and then after it's blended, I'm gonna end up adding some flaxseed that I just freshly ground and some psyllium husk at the end. You don't wanna over blend those. So let me plug this in and let's get blending. Yes, and I think that'll do it. So now I just want to go ahead and add this flaxseed, just like I said I would. And I am just going to wipe this down so that we don't have any apple cider vinegar and add a little bit of this. And then I'll just pulse it just a little bit. You want to mix it up well, but you don't want to overmix. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. You'll be notified when I go live or post new videos. And give us a thumbs up, please. I'd love to have your support in growing my channel and help in spreading the word. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it really, really deeply. Also, if you want to chat, if you have something to say, I'd love to hear from you. So go ahead, post a comment below, and let's talk. Have you done any of these types of wraps? When you travel, what's your favorite take with you kind of food, especially if you're going on an airplane? I'd love to hear it. Okay, so let's go ahead and just give this a nice pulse. Whoops, I gotta start it first, don't I? The thing with the pulse is you have to hold it, so it's hard to dance. All right, so let me unplug this. We're done. Literally, that's it. Our wrap is ready to go. Now, of course, to make one of these wraps, you do need a dehydrator. And I do have a dehydrator, so that is something that if you're gonna do something like this, you do need to do it in advance because you're gonna have to let it sit in the dehydrator for like 12 hours. So I am not leaving today or tomorrow, but I'm leaving early the following morning. So I have today and tomorrow to get myself ready with all my food, all my clothing, and just be organized. And so in prepping, you do want to make sure that you have plenty of time. You're doing things a little bit in advance. So I've already heard that this is ready, so I'm going to pause for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and add my potatoes right. Oh, shoot. I can't add my potatoes in. I forgot to put the rack in. Let me put the rack in. You could do between 350 to 400 degrees. Sometimes I do 350 or 375 if they're really big, and sometimes I go, if they're smaller, medium to small, and sometimes I go up a little bit. So the temperature is right about in there. There's no exact, I don't believe. 350 is a great base. I'm up a little higher on this, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it on for 60 minutes. I'm gonna check about 35, 40 minutes and just see how we're going and adjust the time from there. So let me grab the next thing, which are my trays. Now these are my trays for my Excalibur dehydrator, and I will link it below in case you're looking or interested in knowing more about it. I think I have the 9-drawer shelf. I think it's a 9 shelf. And so these are special little mats that we use when we make Lissa's wraps. And the reason why is because they have this little lip so that the liquid won't spill over. And they are great. Okay, and I can link those in the description below as well. So now I want to pour half and half. I always have trouble here because I tend to eyeball half and half. But honestly, it never comes out quite that way. So I'm going to try to look at the measurements here. This is a 64 ounce, and this is measuring about 52 ounces. So I'm going to try to pour half in here. I may be really close. So let me stop there. And then you want to take this offset spatula because I feel like you almost need it. No, you don't. You could be successful without it. It's just one of those things that really makes spreading these wonderful. I used to use more of a flat spatula that I have that I used to use a long time ago for like frostings and stuff. And my daughter also uses this one, especially years ago when she was really into baking. And this, for some reason, the angle, it just helps, really helps to make it easier to spread. And that's just basically what we're doing. We want to spread this out and cover the whole thing and stick it in the dehydrator. Voila, that's it. And that's, you know, one of the things that's really great is it really doesn't take that much time to prepare. It takes time for it to be in the dehydrator. Now this isn't completely covering the whole thing, but I don't really want to pour any more at this point because I kind of want to put this aside for a minute. And I want to pour this one in. And then see, you know, if I can add a little bit more to the other one. And let's just kind of eyeball it. I always think about, oh, maybe I'll, you know, pour it in a bowl and weigh it and get it really exactly half. And I never do. I just never do. It's like, oh, I don't know. I guess it doesn't appeal to me when I think about it. So this works. This is great. There, this one looks like maybe it got more than the other one, which is why I was hoping to do it like this, because it's spreading out a little bit better. Now, I tend to, and I guess most people tend to, you know, when you spread it out, kind of go a little bit thinner on the ends, and that's something that you really don't want to do here. You really want to try to have it as even across as possible so that the ends won't get dried and brittle and crack because they're too thin, and then the middle is, you know, like heftier. So I always try to pay attention to that part of it. Let me set this one aside, bring the other one back. Whoops. And just add a little bit more of the mixture to this one, if I can, just to help it out a little bit more. Now, when I put these in the dehydrator, I was taught that you do not, under any circumstances, peel them off. You want to just, I know sometimes it's hard not to fiddle with our food, but we want to just really just leave it alone, and you can check to see, you know, if it's done or not by just touching it. If it gives, then you might need to cook it, dehydrate it a little bit longer, and if it doesn't, then you're good. So, all right, this one looks great. I'm calling this done. This is ready. Let me go stick this in the dehydrator. In order for things to be considered raw, they need to be cooked or dehydrated at a temperature that's 115 or less. And so I have this set at 115 degrees. I know I said I'm going to leave it in here for 12 hours, but I'm going to check it halfway through and maybe 3/4 of the way through, and then together we will look at the finished product. So in the meantime, I'm going to take a few minutes to clean up, and then I'm going to show you how I prepare oats for travel. Hang tight. Okay, so I cleaned things up, and I just wanted to show you what I do when I travel with oats. And so, you know, like I had mentioned, I haven't been eating oats. I don't know if oats are part of an inflammation response for me, but I also don't know what I could bring, because rolled oats are pressed and they're steamed and they could be eaten just how they come. So lately what I've been doing are smoothies, salads, vegetables, and I hope to do that. But anyways, I still wanted to have some oats, and the oats that I have here are the 1 Degree organic, they're gluten-free, glyphosate-free, sprouted rolled oats. This one's almost empty, that's why I have a second bag here. And literally what I'm gonna do is measure out a cup per day or per portion that I want to have available. You could do 2 cups, but it's whatever you want. And so what I want to do is use my FoodSaver. Now, if you don't have a FoodSaver, it's fine. You can use Ziploc bags, but you know, I just want something that is not going to spill or open, and that is going to be kind of sealed and like vacuum packed, and that's why I really like the FoodSaver. Anyways, this is the FoodSaver that I have. I'm going to try to do it backwards so that you could see how I do this. But for now, let's see, how can I do this? Probably can't do it backwards. I'm going to unlock it. There are some settings here. So I have it on normal setting and dry. There's a high setting and a gentle setting on the speeds. And the food, it says moist, in case you can't see that. So this is not moist, it's gonna be dry. And literally, I go for these rolls, and I just take one out, and I'm gonna seal the bottom. The little light says sealing. As soon as it lifts up, then I know that it's done sealing. And then I'm gonna eyeball, and this roll is just about out, so I'm gonna eyeball how much I want. And then I'm just gonna zip it, and here we go. I have a bag ready to roll. And this one is the end. So let me put this aside. I'm gonna go ahead and put 1 scoop, which is a 1 cup. And then I've got this little tiny bit left in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just add it in. For me, 1 cup is usually a good amount. but you know, I've also known people where they like 2 cups. And so whatever you think it is, or you can measure 2 cups, and then if you know that you're going to be able to make it, then you can have leftovers, and then you don't even have to make anything if you have the ability to make something. So for me, I would either just eat it like this, or I could add a little water and put it in a microwave. If I have the ability to use a stovetop or a cooktop, I could do that. Where I'm going to have, I think, a mini fridge and a microwave. So anyhow, this is this. And so what I could do is, in addition to this, I could add a few things. So I like to add some walnuts, and I can go ahead and put the walnuts in here and then just dump the whole thing out, or you can package the walnuts separately. I think, gosh, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I think for now, maybe I will package them separately with some other things. So let me go ahead and show you how I seal this up. I've got it in here, and then I just stick the edge in here, close it up, and then I push vacuum seal, and you'll see how it seals it up really nicely. Pulls out all the air. I just love it. And then I have a new roll right here. And I think what I'm going to be doing is making about 4 of these. I often take them 1 per each day that I'm going to be gone, and I'm going to be gone about 7 days. But I know that there are a few days where I'm already going to be having some breakfast things. So I was just thinking half of the amount, but you decide what works for you. And so let me just continue making a few more of these. Okay, well, I ended up making 5, so here we go. I have 5 of these. They're 1 cup. They're ready to go. I can throw them in my luggage. I can cut them. They're hard to tear. I've sometimes even used a pen to kind of puncture it and tear it open in a pinch. And sometimes what I do is I take a pen and I just put the date, what it is, and the amount. So I'll put rolled oats, and I'll put 1 cup, and then I'll put the date. Now, why would I put the date? Well, because if I don't end up using these on this trip and I end up wanting to use them on another trip, I'll know when I did this. And so I'll go ahead and put, I don't even know what the date is. Let's see. I'll just put the month and the year. And so just take a few minutes to do that on all of them. Okay, so I have these all ready for me, and you can see them here. Let's see. Okay, and now sometimes I like to put stuff in my oats, and things like hemp hearts or the flaxseed. Now this is flaxseed that I'm going to grind up, and even some cinnamon. Now what I could have done, and sometimes what I do, is just pour the cinnamon in the oats. And I clearly didn't do that this time. You don't need cinnamon. It's just something. Sometimes I even put a little bit of raisins in there or anything that I might want to add to it. And I would put that in this part and zip this up all together. I'm going to set this aside for now and just show you. This is one that I had on a different vacation. And so what I did for this one was the tops of these. I made these little pockets. And so when this was 1 bag like you saw, I made these lines with the FoodSaver to make little pockets. And then I measured and put in some hemp seeds, and then I made another line to seal, and then I made, I had 3 more pockets. And what I did was I filled these with the oats, and then I sealed it. So this was ready to go, and I cut the tops open, and it looks like I did not use these. Now, why didn't I put all of it in one? Because sometimes I won't eat the oats, and then maybe I will grab the hemp hearts and throw it in my salad, just to have variety. And so because I already have these 3 here and there's some pockets, I think what I'll do is put some walnuts in here and maybe the flaxseed, and I can reuse this one. And I'm not really measuring the walnuts. I don't have to take the walnuts if you don't do nuts, but it just shows you different ways to do things. If you don't have this, like I said, this FoodSaver thing, just do it with Ziploc bags. Something that's simple. Here you go, look at that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and seal this up. I could do, you know, add the flaxseed to this, but I'm gonna keep them separate in case I wanna use something different on it. Here he goes. All right, and so you can see I have these. I already know this is hemp. I know this is walnut. I'm gonna add it. There's 3, I have 5. And so I could do another 2 more so that I have 5 altogether, or I could just leave it how it is. I don't need to make it perfect. So, you know, maybe that's enough walnuts for me, but you can make as many as you want. And so I have the hemp hearts, so I think the only thing I'd like to add are some golden flax. And so I'm just gonna grind some up, just so I can travel with my omegas and feel like I have a little bit of control of what I have. And then the cinnamon, gosh, I kind of wished I had put it in the oats, but you know, that's just an optional thing. That's what I'll do. I am gonna go ahead and pour some cinnamon. The thing is with bringing cinnamon, if it's not measured out, I don't want to start measuring powders while I'm wherever I'm going. I think maybe I'm going to skip the cinnamon this time. I should have put it in with one of those other things. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and measure some flax in these 3 pockets here. And I don't even, that's why I like to save these. I don't even have to use new stuff, you know, but with the one that I just sealed, I'm going to show you how I made this bag in case you do have a FoodSaver and that's something that you want to know how to do. So you could do it. And I'm just going to put a tablespoon of each of these in these 3 pockets, and you know, you could do exactly the right amount for each one. I'm not using this bottom one because, like I said, I already used it and it actually has a hole in the bottom where I punched it out because I must not have had anything on hand. So let me just, whoops, take a second here and seal this guy. Let me move this completely out of the way. I'm going to seal these. That worked out nicely, didn't it? Now I'm putting my extra flax in a container in the refrigerator. I like to grind it up and use it within a few days of grinding it. Of course, I have today, tomorrow, and then that's it. So hopefully my husband will use it up. And if not, if it's no good, I can always just start fresh when I get home. But if you do have some and you are staying home, that's what I do with mine. I don't like to grind up too much at one time because I want it to be fresh. Okay, let's go back over here. Look at this. So we've got our other pouch and we are set to go. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is showing you how to make those pockets. Okay, so what you just saw me do a minute ago was I pulled this out, I sealed it, and now I took it out. And let's say I want a bag that's about, I don't know, this long. So I cut it so it's one big bag, and that's what we have been doing, right? But then what I do is I fold it into thirds. You know, it's not perfect, and kind of crease it the best that I can, fold it into thirds, and then you can see that they're creased. And then what I do, you can see they're creased, is I just set the crease right on this sealing strip, and then I just push seal. There you go. And now I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing for the other side. Push seal. And there you have it. Look at that. So now what I would do is I would fill my walnuts or my oats or my hemp seeds at the bottom, and then I won't suck out the air, but then I will put it back in here and I will line it up again on the seal strip and I'll seal it across this top of wherever the food is. And then I still have all of this. So I can put oats or whatever, and I can keep using it that way. And then I have like this, packet that's similar to these. And it's handy and it's pre-measured, and I really like that. So anyways, just a tip and trick to share with you. And so then what I do sometimes is I keep this bag. Like this is an empty bag that I had. It already says oats on it. And then what I would do is I would just fill the bag with the food that I'm bringing. So I already know what's in here. But, you don't have to do this. I just try to figure out ways to make it simple, easy to find, and it's reusing a bag that I normally would have gotten rid of a long time ago. And even though I can't seal it, this is it. So here I go. I can put this in my luggage. And I know that I have some backup food that's really simple. It doesn't need refrigeration. It doesn't need anything. And truthfully, I could just eat it the way it is if I needed to. So, okay, I'm going to check the potatoes now with you. Let's take a minute and check those. Okay, the potatoes are definitely done. I've cleaned up, and I've got some other stuff that I thought I would just make one more thing. But let's get the potatoes out. Ooh, these look great. Check it out. Look at these. And I had just taken the one off to cool because it was ready ahead of time, but there you go. So I've got all kinds of yummy potatoes to take on my trip, and I'm going to set those aside and let them cool. And the other thing that I decided to kind of do last minute was make one of the things that Lissa puts in this particular wrap, and she calls it a burger patty. But even though I'm going to make it, I'm not sure that I'm going to take very much of it on the plane. I might take one or two, but I have some leftover lentil patties that I made, and I'll link that if you haven't seen it in the description above. It's a video, and it's a great patty that I've been enjoying, and I have leftovers, and I plan to bring that on the plane. But for now, I thought, well, this is pretty easy. I'll just whip this up, stick it in the dehydrator, and just have another extra thing. So what we're going to do is use the food processor, and I'm basically going to, I've cut everything up, and I'm just going to put it all in here. I have some walnuts that have been soaking, so I just need to drain these, but here you go. I've been soaking these just in clean water, and I'm going to go ahead and put those in there. I am going to add some mushrooms. You can use any mushrooms. You could cut them up. I didn't even cut them up. And in this one, I have celery, which I'm going to put in here. I've got some red bell pepper. I've got some onion, some garlic. Here's some cloves of garlic. And underneath there is some shredded carrot. And I'm just going to put that all in here. There we go. Get every last morsel. You know how I like to not waste and eat it all. So yummy. Okay. And then I'm going to add some flaxseed. I'm going to put the flaxseed in there. That'll be a good binder. Keep everything together and kind of form a patty of all these veggies. And then I've got some clean kale I washed, and except for this little part right here, look at that stem. I did cut that up and stripped the kale, and I'm going to add a little bit more since I took that stem off. And so you can see this is pretty full right now. So then I just want to add some seasonings. And what I have here is some paprika, we've got onion powder, we've got oregano, and some sage. And I personally didn't find my thyme. I do have dried thyme somewhere, but I have this beautiful fresh thyme that my girlfriend gave me out of her garden, and so I'm using that, and it's sitting in this glass with some fresh basil that I'm not using, but it certainly is beautiful. And I've got a little bit of water at the bottom, and the fragrance is so amazing. So anyways, I'm going to pour all of that in here and whip it up. That's it. So let's plug it in and make a patty out of this. Oops, I've got to get this little piece here before it will let me use it. The safety feature. Have to have that in order for it to go on. And here we go. Ready? Turn it on. Stop it. I see that it needs a little help, so I'm going to push down the kale. I really need a spatula. Let me get my spatula out. Just kind of mush this down and see if we can get the last of it ground up so we can be ready to get that dehydrating. Let's see. All right, let's unplug it. Let's get serious now. Let's move this guy out of the way and check out what we just did. Oh yeah, that looks really good. Can you see that all right? Look at that. Nice and nice texture that I think will be really good. And I didn't add pepper, which I could have done ahead of time, but since I didn't, I'm just gonna put a little pepper in there right now and kind of give it a little mix. And then we're gonna form some patties and put them in the dehydrator. Now, frankly, if you didn't want to dehydrate these, I would put them in the oven too. I think that putting them in the oven would be great. And so if you're raw, put them in the dehydrator, or if you want to do it that way. And if you're not, or you're in a hurry, or you just want it to have that cooked crispiness or whatever, then pop them in the oven. And I would just probably cook it at 350 for about 15 minutes, flip it for another 15 minutes, or until it is to your liking. And you could crack it open and check into that. The thing is, this is all raw food, but it's nothing that you need to be concerned, like there's no raw beans or anything like that that would need to be cooked. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and put some of these in the dehydrator. I've got this tray right here. I do have the liner for it, but I thought I would put it directly on here just because I was kind of feeling like the air might circulate better, but you can certainly put a liner, and if you don't have a liner, you could use a parchment paper. In fact, I'm just going to show you what mine looks like, and maybe see if I can link it in the description in case you're interested in it. I normally do line my trays. Hold on. Here you go. And this one is the Excalibur Paraflex Ultra Sheets. This is a little thicker. I know they sell some other ones that are thinner, and anyways, I'm gonna try to do it without it. And let me grab a scooper duper. I'm gonna use this scooper. This is a melon baller. I have two of these. This is my larger of the two. And let's see what kind of scoops we get. I'm just gonna, I wonder if, oh, I'm playing around here. Let's see if I should, oh yeah, look at that. I kind of like doing it that way, but you can do it. You don't even have to squeeze it down. You could just put it as a ball. I think I kind of like it as a thicker, small patty. So that's what I'm going to do. And then, you know, if I decide after these are done that I want them to be hot, or I want to put them in the oven, I mean, I could do that. But these are fine to just put in the dehydrator and make them this way. So I'm not pushing too hard in these. And frankly, I bet you could add beans as long as they were cooked to this, especially if you were going to put it in the oven, or if you maybe couldn't have walnuts or you didn't want nuts and you weren't, you know, worried about the completely raw part, you can sub out the walnuts. And I would put beans or lentils in there and then put it in the oven. That sounds yummy. Of course, they're totally different food groups. But anyways, there we go. Look at that. Ta-da! Let me rinse my hands. Okay, look at these. Ready to go. And so I'm going to go put these in the dehydrator. I'll be right back. Eight hours. So when it's on 6. Okay, so that's in there, and we'll check on that when all of that is done. I do want to kind of take a minute just to show you a few other things that I'm probably going to add into my food packing bag. Now, of course, I'm not going to bring all of this, and I'm certainly not going to use all these containers, but, you know, I have this bowl of salad, and it's got some extra things on top that I haven't used that I could chop up. I'll put some of this maybe in my wrap, and I will also put this in a Ziploc bag and just bring my salad in a bag. And so whatever I have left over, I'll be creating that tomorrow with you. And if that's gone, then I have some others still. I've got some sprouts that I've sprouted, and so I will, you know, bring as much as I can of these. These are broccoli sprouts. You know, one big tip is look at what you have. And figure out, if you're not going to take it with you, don't let it go bad. Freeze it. Eat it, freeze it, or, you know, see if you could bring it with you. And what makes me think of that is I made this eggplant hummus, and you can check the link. I'll link it above to show you how to make this. And so you can't really bring this on the plane. But what I have heard is that if you bring it frozen, so if I took some and I froze it in like an ice cube tray and it was frozen when I went through security, then I could bring it. But let's say I don't want to take a chance or things have changed since then I might portion this out and freeze it so that when I get home I can thaw it and I don't waste it. And if I am able to eat that, I do have all kinds of veggies ready to go, you know, for that kind of a thing in here, and some, I even have some jicama here, but anything that you know, want to add either into a salad or into something like that. Now, another way you can get away with bringing hummus is, like what I do sometimes, is I dilute it with a little water, and then I pour it over my salad and mix it in. It's a dressing. It's not considered, you know, a liquid or a gel. So that's another way. But you don't want to put it, like if you're bringing a lot of salad, I would put the portion that I think that I'm going to eat on the plane and mix that portion. And so if I have extra by the time I get to the hotel, it's not soggy and wasted and that kind of thing. So these are some things that we're going to be looking at tomorrow. And then also, these are the patties that I was talking about that I have that are cooked and ready to go, and I am going to put these in my wrap, at least some of them, and these are so delicious, and they've got let's see, what do we put in here? Parsley, red lentils, we have onions, and some squash, and just all kinds of great things. Now I do have a sauce, a cashew cream, and so I can't bring that, but what I was thinking is if I spread a little on maybe a couple of the patties and I roll it, and that's what I use to carry on, well, I think I could get away with bringing a little bit. But if you think you can bring more than 3 ounces, well, you might be surprised. Like, I had somebody throw out a jar of my homemade hummus one time. I'm like, oh, and it was probably 4 ounces, and they said, no, this is like a gel. And I thought, oh, I just made that. And he said, no. So you have to be prepared and know what you can bring. And then this is another thing that I have that I'm really excited about. And these are cookies. These are cookies that I made out of garbanzo beans. And so there's all kinds of stuff. I also recommend looking in the freezer. Like, I know a while ago, my daughter had made me a banana nut bread, a gluten-free one, and I had sliced it up and I put some in the freezer. And I think I probably have a slice or 2 in there, so I could grab that. And you just gotta think, what could I bring? What'll last, or what am I gonna eat? What's filling? And a few other things I'll show you are, dried fruit. Or in this case, I have these beet chips that I could bring. And these are like half eaten, so it's just the end of the bag. I'll show you what they look like. They're like dehydrated beets. I mean, there's nothing in them. There's no salt. These are called naked ones. And here you go. You can see. And so I could bring those. Another thing that I've been recently enjoying and eating are these things called tiger nuts. And I'll link the tiger nut video in case you haven't seen it. But these are actually in the tubers family, which is like potatoes. And, these are sliced. You can get them whole. They have them in raw and they have them in peeled. And so anyways, I enjoy having these kinds of snacks with me. There's also any kind of fruit that I have. I have a ton of kiwis and some apples and whatever is in the fruit drawer I want to bring. I have some sliced oranges. If I don't get through those today, I'll bring those and I'll eat that first. But there isn't a shortage of ideas or food to bring. So we'll connect tomorrow when I start packing up the bag, and I hope this has been helpful so far. I'm excited to show you about the wrap soon. So for now, just know that there's always a way to be successful, no matter where you are. Okay, so welcome back. It's the next day, and my wraps are finished, and I just wanted to show you how they came out. They came out really well. You can tell that they are, well, let's see. If you put them down and you push on it and your finger doesn't, sink in like skin or like something mushy kind of feeling, it should be firm, then you know that it's ready. And these feel that way. And so, if I'm home or and I'm not going to be using them, I leave them on this tray because there's a sticky part underneath when you peel this off. And if you take it off of the tray, the sticky part will not be sticky anymore. And that is the inside of the wrap. And the sticky part helps it to secure at the end. But if you are needing the trays, whether you're leaving or not, you can take them off and fold them in half, sticky side together. And that seems to work to keep the stickies, and you just gently undo the stickiness. So anyways, I think I'm gonna wrap one of these for travel tomorrow, and I thought, let's do it together. So let me put one of these over here. And before we do that, I do want to show you that these were the walnut little burger things, patty. I guess they didn't call them a burger. Patties, the walnut patties. But we did this on the without the lining on here, and when I went to flip them over, it was sticking a lot. So I ended up taking them off and cleaning this and then putting them back on, turning them over. So I think next time I would line it. So if you're going to do this, I would definitely maybe line it. I thought it wouldn't stick, but it did. But they turned out great, and so we're gonna add a couple of these. If you didn't wanna do that, you can actually fill these with anything you want. And I have right here some other things. I've got some of these. Oh, I just have them in my hand. These are the lentil patties that I was talking about that I made recently. And then I've got all kinds of stuff to put in it in terms of salad and onions and bell pepper, tomatoes, and just a mix of salad blends. I don't really like to put sauce of any sort on, cashew cream or anything, when it's overnight or if it's a long period of time before I'm gonna eat it, because it tends to make it kind of soggy. So I could bring some cashew cream in a little container. I guess I should pull one out. Hang on a second. These little containers that I just happen to have, and I reuse them. And so I can put a little of the cashew cream in here, and then I can put it on if I want. Or I can put a little bit of mustard. I've got the Sweet Heat from California Balsamic. I love the California Balsamics. And what's great about these is this is a 1.6 ounce, so you can take it through security on the airplane at 3 ounces or less. And so I can take this and use it on my salad or use it anywhere. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get started with this. And the first thing I wanna do, besides move the tray, is go ahead and I'm gonna peel it off of here. I think I'm gonna turn the cutting board over. And then we're just gonna take one of the ends. Let's see. And just gently peel it off. Can you believe? This was, just all those beautiful vegetables. And here we are, able to peel it off, and it kind of looks like a wrap or like a lavash or some kind of bread. And it's not, it's just veggies. So I'm turning it sticky side up. I'm gonna move this out of the way. And then I wanna have it in a triangle shape. And then I'm just gonna fill it. So if I was gonna put a sauce on it now, like a cashew cream, I would go ahead and put it on at this point. But because I'm not, I'm gonna skip that part, and I'll probably bring something later. And so what I wanna do is, I'm gonna get some of this romaine. I cleaned some romaine, and romaine is so fun. So I like the crunchy lettuce, and sometimes I like the real green dense lettuce. And so you just want to kind of make it however you want. Now, you want to make sure that you don't build it too much in the middle. You want to get it on the edges, but you also don't want to get it all the way to the end because we are going to be folding this side. So you kind of want to just, that looks great. Then I'm going to go ahead and put some onions on here. Da-da-da-da. I love onions. And of course, you want to put on whatever you like. Now, I'm not going to put tomatoes, sliced tomato, but if I were making this to eat right away, I would put sliced tomato. Sliced tomato is going to make it wet. So I do have these cherry tomatoes, and so I think I'll just add a couple of those, solid, whole. I'm going to put some of these orange peppers, just a few of these, orange peppers, bell peppers, and then I've got all kinds of mix of all kinds of other greens. I mean, this is literally a major mix of kale, and there's broccoli and cabbage and carrots and all kinds of stuff in here. Even basil and just everything. It's great. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take these lentil patties, and I think I'm just going to cut them in half. You could also crumble them and do a crumble, but I'm going to cut them in half, and I am going to just put them all the way across there like that. Whoa, that looks good. And then I'm gonna add some of these guys. And I think I'm gonna put 3. Let's see, I'll do 3 of these. And I was thinking maybe I would do half, lentil and half without, half lentil and the walnut patties and half without it. But I think I'm going to use it. And so, anyways, there you go. Here we have our beautiful wrap ready to go. And what else could we add to this? I guess oh no, I'm sorry. I got a little piece of avocado and I really want to use it. So I'm going to go ahead. If you haven't seen my avocado video, check it out. I'll link it above. It's just, how I deal with avocado when it's, little like this. So I could kind of hit this and twist it off, but instead I'm going to loosen it a little bit here away from the pit. And then I'm just going to try to take it off. I like to keep this in place because it keeps it really clean. And then, of course, with the edge here, I'm going to go ahead and cut the edge off. You have to be super careful. And then the rest shows this beautiful avocado that's clean and ready to be eaten. There we go. So just a tiny bit. And then I can, there's a little piece I could cut off. There we go. And then I can just peel this right off. And there you go. Avocado, clean and ready to go. Yeah. So I'm going to slice it in a couple slices. And then I'm going to also place that right here, right along the edge. There we go. I almost feel like I want to put some lettuce underneath it so that it isn't exactly touching the wrap. Now, I also like to squeeze lemon or lime. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do. You can put, ketchup or tomato sauce, barbecue sauce. What else could you do? You could even do like any kind of pickled relish. I mean, anything that you want will work on here. And so then what I do is I'm going to take this edge and I'm going to fold it up here. Okay. And then I'm going to take this side and I'm going to fold it like this. And I kind of want to shove everything in here. And it's kind of falling, but you know what? That's okay. That is okay. We're just going to make it work. There we go. And again, I want to just keep pushing everything in there. And then I'm going to start to roll this thing. Roll it. And I want to get it as tight as possible. Okay. There we go. Look at that. This is going to be simple to pull out on the plane and start eating. Num, num, num. So I think I could cut it in half and have 2 halves, and that would be easy, and then you could see what it looked like inside. But it would probably be easiest not to do that, but for you, I'm going to do it. So think of me flying overhead and having this cut in half so that I can show you how beautiful that is. Look at that. And of course, I wish there was more red in it, but because we didn't make tomato slices, you can't see them right now because they're in there, but this is it. And I'm really excited. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap these, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to pack everything food-wise and show you what I'm going to take on a plane. So I'll be right there. All right, and here we go. So we've got our sandwiches, and I think what I will also do is put a little bit of something in these. Let's see what we have here. Oh. I have some that was left over, and here's some more. And this is the cashew cream. If you haven't seen me make the cashew cream, check it out. We'll link it above. And I'm just gonna give myself some of this. And what is really nice about this is, even if I don't use it on the wrap, I can use it with the patties. I'm gonna bring some more of those lentil patties. And so I can always have it with that. And there you go. And I can just stick it right in here. And it is definitely under 3 ounces. And I have this in case I want that, which is also under 3 ounces. I think I'll keep that separate. And then I can even do some mustard. And this mustard is the no added salt stone ground mustard from Organicville. And so I can take some condiments on the plane. And then these are disposable, so even though I bring disposable containers sometimes, if they're in good shape, I'll bring them back and I'll just keep reusing them. Okay, so we've got the wraps. I have in here some more of these patties. I have some rice and some stir-fry vegetables. Here we go. And I gotta tell you, I didn't really plan to make this for travel, but what I was doing was seeing what was left in the house that's not gonna be eaten, that can't be frozen, and I just decided to make a quick stir-fry for dinner tonight. And this was what was left over, and I brought it in this container that I had resealed from something else, and so I have that. Even if I don't eat it on the plane, maybe when I get to the hotel, that could be my dinner. And then I have the potatoes that we made together, so I've got all these sweet potatoes that I can, eat as I feel I need to. And again, I don't plan to eat all of this on the plane. I plan to have it in the hotel room and eat it when I need it. That sounded funny. Eat it when I need it. Anyways, okay, and then some other things that we have are just some chopped veggies. This is some celery, mostly leftover, some carrots, red bell pepper. I have some jicama and some broccoli. And this is just to munch on, it doesn't have to be in a salad form. I have some oranges that are pre-peeled, ready to go. I have a cucumber wrapped. I really like everything wrapped when I travel, because I have experienced before where I had like an apple in my bag and security asked me to, come with them, and they wanted to check to see what it was. And they were touching the apple with the gloved hands, and I got a little bit turned off, a lot turned off. So I learned from that to have everything in a bag, and this way they'll touch the outside of the bag and not my food. And then I'm bringing this fruit because I had this extra, and so I have 2 apples in here, 2 kiwis, and 3 mangoes. I'm not cutting them up. I'm hoping that I can bring this and have this to snack it in the hotel. And then I do have some dried stuff. I don't know if I'll bring this, but if I have room, I will. If not, I won't. And then I have just plain old regular salad. So if I have room, I will literally stick this either in a container or a Ziploc bag. And if I don't have room, I will leave it here. Todd, like I said, isn't traveling with me this time, and so he can munch on this as well. And then last, I have some beautiful chickpea cookies, and I am so excited about these. I have a short that you can watch me make these if you want, and anyhow, I'm excited to eat those. And that's it for food. Then the last thing I want to show you is I went ahead and just bought this bottle. This is a new bottle for me. It's the clearly filtered. I normally have a purple one, but I've decided that I really want to be able to have fresh filtered water when I travel. And, when I was bringing my other water bottle, I could put the Berkey water in it, but then once I left the house and it was finished, I had to drink whatever was there. But this one has a filter inside the bottle. Let me show you. There it is. It's this blue filter. And so you fill the water. I actually had to soak this filter for a half an hour. It said I did it for an hour. And then it just comes off. It just sits right here. And then this thing twists, twist, 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 twist. I'll show you. And this is the filter. And so you want to twist, twist, twist it back on. And it sits at the bottom, because I was thinking, well, if the filter's high up. No, and then you fill the water, any water, whoops, and then you want to make sure that's attached. And then you just put it in here. And it filters as it goes through the straw. And so what I'll do is I'll bring an empty bottle through security. I'll fill it up on the other side where the bathrooms are. There's usually a water dispenser. And then I can feel comfortable drinking filtered water. And when I get to my destination, I'll continue on my whole trip. So that's it. I'm super excited. If you're interested in checking out the clearly filtered bottle, I'll put a link. You can check it out. And this is my first time trying a clearly filtered water bottle or any kind of filter. I've had it at relatives' houses before, and it's great. But you know, at home, if you know me, I have the Berkey, but I don't have a portable way to use it. So this is what I'm going to try this time. And so thanks, everybody. I'm going to tune back in just to show you my pack at the end. So we'll see you one last time. Now, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and then you'll be notified when I go live or post new videos. And give this a thumbs up. I just so appreciate you. And leave me a comment if you'd like to chat. The thumbs up lets me know that you're enjoying the content. And if you want to talk about how you travel or any suggestions, tips, questions, tricks, whatever, just leave a comment and we can talk about it. I'd love to chat with you. And so anyways, this is the plan B for me. It's a backpack, and I really like this one because it has this waist piece here, and it really helps to alleviate the pressure on the shoulders. And so this is the one that I like. Now, what's in here so far? Remember when we made the oatmeal? Well, here's the oatmeal. So I'm going to lay it down here, and I am going to start putting this stuff in here and see how far we get with this bag. And you know what? If it just doesn't all fit, well, then you just pick and choose, I guess, but I think it'll fit. Okay. I wish I could show you. Let me just move this a little bit so you can see better. The potatoes, I feel like they're going to get smashed really badly. So I'm almost wondering if I should pack them differently. How could I pack them any differently? Do you have any ideas? Okay, so here we are. I'm going to put these right on top. For a month, or that I'm traveling with a family of 10. But it's just me, so that's all right. I'd rather have too much than not enough, and I do tend to overpack with the food. It's just what I do. And so there we go. I've got this little guy I want to keep on the outside in case anybody says anything. I can easily just grab it, and here's the sandwiches. And so, of course, you know, by the time I'm halfway through the flight, this is going to be a lot less because I'm definitely going to have eaten some of this. And And there you go. And this way it fits everything. I'll have my water bottle here on the side, on one of the sides. Now I am not going to be traveling wearing my weighted vest. I am going to be leaving that at home. But even though I have it on still, I'm going to see if I can show you. Oh my gosh, this is a lot of food, a lot more food than I'm used to bringing, but anyways, okay, I'm ready to go. And I bet this thing weighs, I don't know, an awful lot, like way more than my weighted vest. And this, there we go. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope that I gave you some ideas of maybe not doing exactly what I did and bringing an entire refrigerator's worth of food, but maybe I was able to help you learn about different ways, different things, different ideas that you can implement to make traveling a less stressful experience, knowing that you don't have to be hungry and that you don't have to eat things that aren't, good for you. So take care, everyone. Don't forget to eat your greens. Travel safely when you do, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.